Hi, everyone. My name is Heather Havenwood. Welcome to another version of Influence Like a Boss. Introducing you to influencers, experts, and badasses like you who are taking life to the next level. So I'm super excited today to talk to Pat Hiban. Hey, Pat, are you there?
Heather, what's going on? I love that name. My oldest daughter is a Heather, so I've always
Nice.
loved that name. Yeah,
So, Heather Hiban and Heather
exactly. Heather Hiban.
Nice. I love
I
that.
always said it should be a Hollywood name, but
It does sound
when she was 10, she had aspirations of being an actress, but she no longer has those.
She's moved on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell people who you are, Pat. You're the co-founder of GoBundance, author of Tribe of Millionaires, successful real estate investor and podcast host. Pat co-founded GoBundance in an effort to build a quality peer group of other successful men who could hold one another accountable to their own high standards, who could choose a life and choose to live life at the peak.
Boom.
Boom. Since its official founding in 2013, the GoBundance tribe has grown to nearly 200 members who connect at seasonal tribal gatherings and annual international bucket list trips. Pat is here today to share some of the most epic adventures he's had with his tribe of GoPros and the lessons he's learned along the way. Cool. I love that.
Thanks.
Yeah. So first I just want to let people know you can go check him out at tribeofmillionaires.com and go check that out. Go check out his book of Tribe of Millionaires. But let's go into this. 5 years ago, 2013, correct, that you started this?
Yeah, okay. About that.
So what was the moment there? Why did you say we're going to go build? If you're successful and you got real estate investing going on, why even go into this and why go into a mastermind group like that?
Hey, that's awesome. So, and the reality of it is just like everything in the universe, pretty much, it just kind of comes to you. But what happened was, David Osborne, myself, and Tim Rode had been best friends and what we call accountability partners for years, which means, we'd help each other reach our goals, right? And we started taking trips. We went all over the world taking trips, and then at every trip we would go over our goals and talk about how we want to create a better life. And then we went to Spain. We went to La Tomatina Tomato Festival, and we hiked the Camino de Santiago trail in Spain. And we each brought a friend. And they were like, man, this was awesome. And then we went on another hike, and we had a bunch of friends that were like, I want to come, I want to do this. And we started saying, well, damn, we should only bring one friend because it's kind of a pain in the ass. I mean, we love people, but if we're going to have 50 people go on a hike with us, there's a lot of organization and work that needs to be done. So what happened was we're driving around Texas and Oklahoma once looking at Dollar General stores to buy. And we said, maybe we should just invite everybody and charge money. So that's exactly what happened. We got back and we said, okay, here we're going to get together. We're going to go skiing. And after we go skiing every day, we're going to talk about, making more money, bettering our lives, bettering our relationships, getting healthier. And if you want to come, it costs money. And if you want to come and join yearly, it's going to cost money. And so we did. And that first year, I think we got like 38 people that joined. And now we have 220 members in GoBundance, and it's growing fast.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think it's growing fast?
That's a great question. I think that we serve a niche that doesn't exist. First of all, it's all men. It's like a men's business fraternity, right? And I think men tend, when they're with other men, they tend to talk about things, that they wouldn't normally talk about with women in a room. And it's
why
got that.
Is that? I'm going to be devil's advocate here.
You tell me, right? Because I think women do the same thing, right?
I think that my particular perspective is very different. I'm not a women's group kind of gal. So I prefer to be around men talking about business. And my experience is that men don't talk about business around a lot of women. And my question is why? Why are they not?
Well, I think it's actually the opposite. I think it's true, but I think what you say, it's women don't talk about business enough. You know what I mean? Or they don't talk about it among other women. And I'm saying culturally, it's not, I don't think it's right. I think they should, you know what I mean? But I think if you get women in a room, and this is why we did by the way, Heather, create GoBundance Women.
Yeah.
And you get one or two that say, hey, what's your net worth? And one discloses their net worth, and they say, hey, I'm worth $4 million, and here's how I got the $4 million. Here's the real estate I invested in, and here's why I don't like the stock market and why I like this, or why, then all of a sudden it opens it up to the other ones that are like, yeah, you know what? And that's what a mastermind is, right? It's more than two people sharing ideas, and the more people talk, and the more information that comes out. And so I think that once you get the juices flowing, it works. There's 42 women signed up, and they just started 5 months ago.
Yeah.
So obviously there's some attraction there. And the same thing with GoBundance. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I didn't make these rules, right, about our culture. And I do think it's a double standard for sure, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? If a guy's going to buy a membership to GoBundance because he feels in his head that he can talk about he could talk about his net worth, and he can talk about his investments, and he can talk about his marriage a lot easier with dudes than he can with chicks, then I'm going to, promote that. And the same thing with the women. I'm not going to show up. Like the women just had a thing in Nashville. When the guy says, Pat, are you going? I'm like, hell no, I'm not going. Let them do their own thing. You know what I mean? I don't want to be in the room, and it's creepy. You know what I mean? And I didn't make the rules. It just is what it is.
Interesting. So why do you say it is what it is? What does that mean for you?
Plus also, here's another good reason. So here's another good reason. I'll give you one.
Like, why break up wealth to the sexes?
That's married men, their wives would be less likely to allow them to go on a trip where there's a bunch of aggressive women in the room with a bunch of aggressive men. It just is a jealousy thing. But if they say, hey, it's all dudes, all we're doing is talking about stuff that you probably don't want to talk about, and drink beer and ski, they're going to be like, go ahead. Cool. You know what I mean? Get it out of your system. But if they're like, hey, it's men and women and we're partying together and no. And the same thing could be said about the women too. Hey, I'm going there and there's a bunch of rich guys going to be in the room and we're going to be partying together. But hey, it's all women. We're going to be going, we're going to be partying together and we're going to be having fun during the day or whatever. Go ahead, honey, have a good time. I think it's just a safer thing to send your spouse to and encourage your spouse to pay money again to be part of that group because you see a benefit in them.
Okay, got it. So it's more like a social agreement than it is really about wealth creation. Is that right? Or do you guys do deals?
Yeah, we do a shit ton of deals. I mean,
all right. See, okay, so this is where I think that in my experience on my side, and I'm a woman, and I want to do deals with people where a lot of times women are shut out because they're not invited to the table. I'm not saying that's true for you guys at all because I don't know, but experience big picture, right? It's like,
what if the women did their own deals?
But they're not encouraged to. They don't know how to do it. Majority.
Yeah, they don't know how to do it. Yeah.
They don't know how to do it. They're not being taught how to do it, right? So, you can see where that could be an advocate to have men there and say, hey, we did deals together. Why don't you guys do deals, right?
As speakers, yeah. I think as speakers, it'll work. You know what I mean? Like, and they do have men speakers. It's not like all the speakers are women. They do. And that's a great idea. Like one of the things that we're going to do at the men's event in January, which I think the women are going to take on as well, is we're going to have a bull and a bear debate. And basically what we're having is three experts on crypto, three experts that can talk about crypto, the U.S. government, gold, real estate in the different market sectors, multifamily, mobile homes, whatever, and the U.S. stock market, all things that are debatable whether 2020 is going to be a bull or a bear. And we're going to have them go at it for a couple of hours. And I think that women, no matter whether these experts are men or women, and by the way, cannabis is another sector, and Cody Sanchez, who's a woman, is a member of GoBundance Women, and she's also one of our guests to talk about why she's bullish on cannabis. And she's a extremely intelligent a financial person. So anyways, we have women as speakers as well.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, I'm just, great. No, like for myself, I'm very big into crypto and Bitcoin. I just was at a seminar, was privately invited at an event with Bitcoin, and it was me and 150 guys. And which is fine. That doesn't bother
Which kind of sucks, right? But why is that? Why is it? What is it that dudes like about fucking Bitcoin, right? I don't get that. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's definitely a bro move, right?
Well, I think there's a lot of bro moves around financial. I'll go there because I think that it's not that women aren't interested, is they're not invited to the party. And the only reason I was invited is because I was invited by the head guy, and he literally said, I want you because I want you to learn about crypto and Bitcoin, because there's no crypto speakers about it. And so that's something I'm literally investing in, talking about, doing a podcast about, and going down that road specifically.
Who was the best speaker there?
You probably won't even know who they are. These all guys are underground people. So,
introduce me to one, because maybe we'll put them on our stage as an expert as well, as a bull.
Oh, okay. Well, I would say me.
You? Okay.
Yeah, see, notice how you went right to the guy. God, I'm sitting here.
Well, you weren't a speaker. You were in the audience, right?
I'm trying to add value here. And you're
all right.
Okay, it's fine. I just think it's interesting. So my point of that party, though, was that being there as a woman in that environment was quite interesting to me, because they were very super awesome. And they shared with me a lot about their own particular viewpoint. So that was kind of fun. So let's go back to your video. It's Tribes of Millionaires. The book, what is the book about?
Okay, cool. So what happens is, just like all business writers, any great book that you see, they have a lot of help, right? So what happened was we hired a guy who works for Darren Hardy from Success Magazine.
Yeah,
he works for Hal Elrod. The Miracle Morning, or a lot of these great books that you've read, he's helped create them. And so we flew him to Japan. There's 27 guys that went to Japan from GoBundance last year. He came to Japan with us, hung out with us, and interviewed all the members. And then we decided to write a story. And the story goes like this. There's a guy named Ethan Martinez, and Ethan's father dies. And unfortunately, he hadn't talked to his dad in 20 years. So what happens is he goes to the funeral to lay a claim to the inheritance as an only child, and his father has 6 pallbearers. All the pallbearers are billionaires and multi-millionaires, really rich guys, really successful guys, very much all in great shape, things like that. And he's like, damn, what the hell happened to my dad? He was a dirtbag when I saw him, and now he changed his life over the last 20 years. And so one of the guys goes, Ethan, here, in order for you to lay claim to this estate, your dad's wishes was that you spend a week on an island with all of these billionaires and millionaires. And so what happens is, what unfolds in the book, obviously, he learns lessons of what happens when you mastermind with people that are better than you, people that have more money than you, people that are more successful, fitter than you, less body fat than you. When you mastermind with people that have incredible relationships with their kids, you naturally become a better father. And so he learns all these lessons, and then he takes them back and implements them into his own personal life. And it changes his life. And our hope is that other people will read this book and it'll change their life as well, once they learn the 6 specific lessons that happen naturally when you're in a mastermind. Okay,
got it. Okay, so there's like 6 principal lessons, is that right?
Correct. That's correct.
Can you go over a few of those?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll go over I'll read them, and then I'll go over my 2 favorites. How's that?
Great, that'd be awesome.
So the first is the influence effect, right? Which is simply your destiny is shaped by those around you. People don't realize this. It's just natural. The old saying is that your grandfather used to say is, you lay down with dogs, you get.
I don't know. My grandfather didn't say that.
He never said, lay down with dogs, you'll get. fleas.
Okay.
You know?
My grandfather didn't say that.
Well, that's an old saying. So, basically you lay down with dogs, you get fleas. So Jim Rohn said this one, maybe you know who Jim Rohn is?
Yes.
So he said, you are the average of the 5 people you hang around
Yes.
the most.
Correct.
Yeah. And it's the same thing. Then they got the multiplier effect, which is the right group of people compounds your efforts. Meaning it's just, if you add one person or 3 people, it's just not going to 3x your efforts. It's going to like 30x your efforts. Then the accountability effect is accountability is the world's most powerful force. It's like anybody can go on a diet, but if you go on a diet and tell 20 people and then tell those 20 people to check in on you every day, you're going to succeed. And that's called accountability. And then the authenticity effect goes to what your argument was, which, again, is debatable. We won't debate on it. Authenticity effect is you find your true self among those that you trust. And maybe it's a trust thing, maybe it's a cultural thing, I don't know. But, we find that the authenticity of the group as men only is huge, and the authenticity of women only is just as huge. So that's step 4. Now 5 is the purpose effect. The right people will reveal your richest source of power. Basically, that's kind of like find your genius within you, right? They help tell you, what you're great at and also what you suck at, right? They'll tell you flat out, hey, you're not so good at that. Why don't you lay off that and do what you are good at? And then the last one is the connection effect, is your life will be measured by the quality of your relationships. And that goes to the 6 pallbearers, right? Like his life was affected by those 6 guys so much that they carried his dead body after he died. So the authenticity effect, which is my favorite, is just, people come to our events and they're like, I've been on the Facebook group and I've met so many of these guys and I've listened to your podcast where you interview the members and stuff. And I kind of felt like I knew the guys, but until I spent like 4 days with them doing like really epic stuff and masterminding on a high level, I felt like the authenticity was just so huge. And then I know these guys, like I've known them all my life and I just met them. And we get that all the time, and it just is what it is. And then the connection effect kind of ties into that too. At the end of the day, when you die, right? It's not. And my grandfather used to tell me this too. It says it's not about the money you have in the bank. It's about the number of friends that you got, not the number of dollars. It's the number of friends, the number of people that would actually, if you were in jail, would bail you out, or if you were, sick in the hospital, would come visit you. So, that's kind of ties into Ethan's dad and his 6 pallbearers again. So nice. Those are my 2 favorites. Yeah.
Those are the book. Okay. So that's the book of Tribe of Millionaires. That's nice. So, okay. So you just created a women's version of GoBundance. It's been about 5 months. Did you find that most of the women there are just wives of the current members?
So here's a funny, so Heather, let me ask you this. What do you think?
I have no idea. I'm not going to assume anything. I learned my grandfather did say, don't assume, makes an ass out of you and me.
All right.
One thing my grandfather did say.
Yeah. The answer is no.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I don't think any of them are. None of them are. So right. I don't know why that is. I mean, it's another conversation that you and I can have,
Just curious. Yeah, I'm
forever.
Just asking who they are.
Why do you think that is?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know your marketing. I don't know who's focusing on it. I have no idea. I don't know. Yeah. So just
I think what happens is kind of like in relationships. Opposites attract, I think, almost, right? So
right.
It's like if you look at the DISC personality, like a high D, high I, or high D charging person attracts more of an S, somebody who's going to kind of take care of them and take care of the family and do the back end so they can do the front end. And so I think the same thing happens with women. So like the 42 women that Women GoBundance, their husbands are quieter. Their husbands are more supporters.
Yeah.
And they don't want to show up to our events. And, the husbands aren't members of male GoBundance. But then the women that show up to Women GoBundance are not married to any of our guys. And again, we don't want to stereotype anything. But I didn't make that up. That's a true fact. 42 women sign up. None have husbands that are married. The 220 that are in the men. And that it probably is a statement of, maybe that even proves a point of why you should separate the sexes.
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation, right? I mean, I could definitely go. I've done a lot of personal work on this in the last 6 months. That's why it's interesting. I told you earlier in the green room, as I call it, why you showed up on my podcast the way you did. And I tell this story. I've reached out to Joe Polish recently, as well as Roland Frazier and Ryan Dice in the last 6 months, less than that actually. And one of the things that came up for me is I've been in this space, in real estate investing space and information marketing since 2001. My very first mastermind was in 2002 when I walked in the room as Ron LeGrand. I was the only woman to ask me to get coffee. So I've been around a long time in that world, right? And I think one of the things I think is interesting about
What'd you say to him when he said that?
I said F you. And then, he laughed and went and got it himself. So I think that men test the women when they come in.
Yeah, that would have pissed me off.
Right. Well, I'm a woman, so they just figured that's what my role was. I was someone's.
You should have said, "Did you say that to me because I'm a woman?"
I was 2002. I didn't feel like I could rock the boat yet, but at this time in my life, I probably would rock the boat. I was also like 26, so I didn't have my kahunas yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, interesting. That's an interesting one. It's like you want to have mentors, right? But you certainly don't want to be disrespected. I mean,
a lot of the things you say in the world of mentors and even your 6 principles, they are real. I believe in those. But when you're a female and you're not, and I'm just speaking from my own viewpoint for me, when you're female and you're not married and you are the D, right? That doesn't mean that those principles actually work.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would almost be like, and again, I wouldn't have been this quick on my feet either, but if I had to think about it, I'd be like, are you asking me because I'm a woman? Or are you asking me because I have a potential to have a mentor-mentee relationship with you? I'm not sure. Clarify. And then he'd go, oh, of course not. Well, and then be great. Give me your cell phone and maybe you can teach me a thing or two. I mean, it's fascinating because you do want to like suck up to mentors and respect them, but you don't want them certainly to disrespect you.
Right. It's a fine line when you're the woman, right? Because there's a testing that happens as well. You know what I mean? So in this particular case, I was super young and they thought I was someone's assistant. So, I just basically
it's kind of a case of mistaken identity.
Yeah, it was more like, oh no, I'm actually belong at the table. But I think that one of the things I find, and this comes from, a article that's in Entrepreneur Magazine right now. It's the top 10 masterminds in the country for entrepreneurs, and all the article was written by a guy, and all 10 were men. And that's fine. All of them I know. I know Dean Graziosi, Russell Brunson, Joe Polish, Ryan Dice, and Roland, the War Room. I mean, go down the whole list, and pretty much
the gurus were men.
Yeah, they were all men.
Gurus were men, but women are invited.
They're invited, but I mean, I would say Joe Polish has the largest percentage of women in his group, and it's maybe 20%, and that comes from his mouth, not mine. So, it's still pretty much a
GoBundance should have been on there.
Males group. So,
we're too young, probably. They don't know about us. Or maybe we don't spend enough on Google algorithms.
Right. This is. I just want to. I'm asking a question.
And Russell Brunson isn't even a mastermind. I mean, his is more like a. This is more of like a lecture type event or an event. I wouldn't call that a mastermind by any means.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, whatever. I'm gonna have to Google that article.
I'll send it to you. So my question is do you think wealth creation and wealth conversations should be, I guess, sexist? Should it be that way, or do you find that not is what it is?
No, of course not.
Okay. I was just curious. Okay, so as far as people interested in who actually is your target market for GoBundance, if they're interested, for the GoBros, I think you said that. Millionaire.
I mean, you got to be a millionaire, or you got to be basically an accredited investor, let's say, or better. Okay. We are going to build a GBJV, which is like a GoBundance University, but it's not built yet. But we are starting a mailing list if someone wants to get on the mailing list, you can do that at GoBundance.com.
Yeah.
But it's mainly right now, the 220 members are all millionaires plus. We also have a champions division, which is 5 million plus. Got like 30 members in that. So 5 million net worth plus. And so anyways, what we're doing is to get people kind of interested in learn the story and just kind of give away some free knowledge of basically everything that we've learned as members. And remember, this book was written around nonfiction. It's a fiction book, but it's written around nonfiction, which is the real life members of GoBundance, right?
Yeah.
And so it's called Tribe of Millionaires. And of course, the website is tribeofmillionaires.com. Tribeofmillionaires.com. You get it absolutely free. Guys, if you go to Amazon, you can get it for $19.99. So, and we've had like 1,000 people buy the $20 version, right? So it's a legitimate book on Amazon. But I'm telling you, for listeners of the show, if you want to get it for free, you can go to tribeofmillionaires.com. All we ask is that two things: that you pay the shipping, $7 chump change. And the second thing is, when you're done, leave us a review on Amazon to help us boost our ratings. And those two things, and we'll give it to you for free. That's tribeofmillionaires.com. If you want to check out GoBundance Women, it's GoBundanceWomen.com. If you want to check out regular men GoBundance, it's GoBundance.com.
Awesome. I love it. And tribeofmillionaires.com is the book as well. Absolutely. Well, I appreciate your time very much, Pat. And any last words for our listeners?
Nope. Again, I'll repeat, you are the average of the 5 people you hang around a month. It would be basically impossible for Heather to hang around 5 billionaire real estate investing women and fly in their jet with them and not become one herself if she talked to them once a week for the rest of her life. It's just impossible for her not, right? And so that's the whole concept, right? You just start hanging around people that are going to bring you to the next level, not people that are going to keep you in mediocrity or people that are going to bring you down, right?
Right.
Not, so that's the message.
Love it. I love it. Awesome. It's tribeofmillionaires.com. Pat, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for willing to have the conversation in a public setting about the conversation about women and men and whatnot. I really appreciate that, the authenticity of that.
That was my pleasure. It was fun.
Well, good. All right. This is Heather Havenwood. Check us out at heatherhavenwood.com. We're on Roku as well as Alexa. I never say it very loud because she starts talking back. Spotify, iHeart, Pandora, and many, many other places, as well as 15 national syndicated radio spots. All right, everyone. It's Heather Havenwood. Check us out at heatherhavenwood.com.